Welcome back, Exiles. As you already know, the full ascendancy for the early access have been revealed, and the witch class has two ascendancies, the blood mage and the infernalist. So I've made a separate video about the blood mage and why I think it's the best ascendancy for Path of Exile till now. So, and I'm gonna start with the blood mage. Like I'm gonna play the blood mage first. So one more thing, if you choose an ascendancy in Path of Exile 2, you can't like change the ascendancy. So it's locked for your character. If you wanna play another ascendancy, you need to play another character. So I think you need to be careful about choosing ascendancy. So uh, I'm gonna talk about the Infernalist in this video and why I think it seems like a bait for the new players. So like yeah, the Infernalist has some good like broken notes, but they are not direct or they are not like easy notes to use. Like in Blood Mage, all the notes are simplified and direct to you, and they are additive to your damage or survivability directly. But in Infernalist, you need to do something to have other things. So I think for normal and for the new players, Infernalist is not that of a great choice. I may be wrong. We'll see this, but let me explain why I think the Infernalist is kind of a bait. So first, if we look at the ascendancy, like it's a pretty strong ascendancy. Like Infernalist, I think will be one of the strongest in late games or after some days when people figure out how to do certain things in this game, because it's a new game, so everyone is on the same level playing field. So I think it will take some days to for people to understand the mechanics in this ascendancy. So the first one, the first node, it makes you like the damage you take mitigates to other elements, like 20% of your cold damage, 20% of the cold damage of you take, and 20% of the lightning damage you take are taken as fire damage, and also 20% of the physical damage you take are taken as chaos damage. So why this node is pretty strong? Because like in Path of Exile 1, like you could have like you could theoretically make your other elements convert to fire or some other things, or your physical damage convert to other elements. So what does it do? Like if you have 100% physical damage taken as something else, like for this instance chaos damage, like you don't need to stack your armor, you can have zero armor and also mitigate your all of your physical damage into chaos damage if you have higher chaos resistance. And like normally in Path of Exile, your base resistance is like maximum resistance is 75%. You can increase it by doing by having certain abilities or something. You can raise it up to 90%. So normally raising all of your resistances to 90% is like a pretty daunting what it's like end game thing, and most of the people can't like go to that first. So you can actually practically raise your one of your resistance into 90%, almost 90%. So if you like raise that one resistance and make other elemental damage taken as that damage, like in this term fire damage, you can basically ignore other resistances. You can actually basically ignore resistances on your other items and focus on damage. So it opens up so many different kinds of builds options. So I don't think you like I don't think that you can actually mitigate 100% of your damage in Path of Exile 2. You could have in Path of Exile, but they also nerfed that thing. So maybe like it's a strong note. I think you if you can have 50 or 60% damage mitigation, like even then it will be one of the strongest defensive like ascendancy points in my opinion. And also normally it's like physical damage is also a tricky one. It's not a linear thing, like is like this damage mitigation based on your armor. So the higher armor you have, like the lower and the lower percentage you get from like the armor. Like you need to have a million armor to like basically tank a shaper hit like from in Path of Exile. So normally a physical mitigation is actually good in Path of Exile. So I think this node is good, but you need to stack this conversion. So normally this node 20% is not enough. So I think if you can stack the conversion in other ways, you can take this node. And normally the new players actually like practically can't do the highest amount of conversions. So I think it's not that good of a node. Secondly, the second one, like the second part has three like similar things. Like you reserve your life and gain a certain bonus. So normally, like theoretically, I think you can take all the three ones and reserve 75% of your life. But I don't think anyone will do that thing. Yeah, hold on, just okay, tata. I mean, I'm doing something else, so তুমি একটু পড়াশো, okay? Tata, thank you. But what is this? It's a like ascendance in Path of Exile. It's my game. Okay? Tata, thank you. Before going, you should close the door, okay? Thank you. Now, sorry, that was okay. Now, like normally in practically you don't reserve your 70% 75% of your life. I think you can take one or two of these nodes. Like normally if you play a necromancer, like if you play minions, this is a must have, because per 25% maximum life you gain one maximum spirit. And in Path of Exile 2, the limit to your minions is based on your spirit, and also your skills reserve your spirit reservation skills. So the more the spirit you have, the more minions army you will get. So I think for players this is a must have. So if you're planning to build a minion like minion army, I think you may play Infernalist and take this node. And for the other two ones, like 1+1 to maximum mana per 6 maximum life, like this one is also pretty good because of the like other nodes in demonic form. Like I'll talk about this later, but like this is a conditional thing. So if you want to stack mana, you can take this. So I think for the minion lovers, the third one is like a must have. So the 2 and 4, these are optional. So that's the thing. And for the fourth one, it says like +1 to maximum energy shield per 8 maximum life. Like I don't think that is a good one. Like uh, for per 8 maximum life you get +1 to maximum energy shield. I don't know how the energy shield scales in Path of Exile 2, like, but based on Path of Exile 1, this is not that great of a deal. So I think the 4 one is kind of a bait or not. I don't know actually. And for the fifth one, this is the like most flashy ones, one of the most flashy like ascendancy points in the game. But I think it has some catch. Like yeah, you can literally turn yourself into demon, your spells have more damage, you cast speed is increased and so on. But to maintain this form, like to maintain this form, you need to have high amount of region, and if you don't have that much region, you will lose this form. And basically this form makes you like makes you tank one death actually. How? After you are killed in your demon form, you are transferred to your base form. So if you are killed in a form, you are transferred to another form, you are not dead. So it makes your like life pool double technically. So I think that's a good note, but it has some catch. Like you I don't think you can permanently sustain this form, and also you take increased damage. So I think this node is not that great. So, and Maybe it's a broken node, maybe like there are some unique items that interacts with the node and makes it very broken, but we'll have to see that. And for the seventh one, this one is the most tricky one, and I think for the seventh one, this ascendancy may be a bait ascendancy. So what does it do? Actually, it it makes your maximum mana replaced by infernal flames. So what is infernal flame? This is like kind of a resource that builds up when you use a spell. Like normally mana gets lower, but this infernal flame is built up when you use spell. So instead of your mana going low, you gain some infernal stacks. So infernal flame. So normally, if you have 8 and 9 nodes taken, the number 8 and the number 9, so when you are not on low infernal and flame, you gain ignite chance. All of your and your minions damage can ignite, and ignite is like one of the strongest, one of the strongest elements in the game, in the whole game. So I think that's a pretty strong one, but you need to sustain higher infernal flame, and also you gain 20% damages fire damage if you have higher infernal stage. So now, to maintain the infernal stage, normally if you use your spells, you get infernal stacks, and when you reach maximum stack, you lose all of it. So you need not to reach the maximum, and also you need to maintain it high. So to maintain the stacks, you need to not attack for 2 seconds. So if you don't attack for 2 seconds, for every seconds you are not attacking, the stack goes down by 10%, 10%, 10%. So for this to maintain, this is a like very much tricky one. So I don't think new players like will invest that amount of time like on this ascendancy. I think it needs so much investment for this thing to work and for this thing to sustain. So I think it's a bait one for new players. And for the number 10, this is a straightforward one. You gain a infernal hound, and this is like your minion, and 20% of your damage taken is done to your minions, and done to your hound and then to you. So you basically get 20% less damage taken from hits. So it's not from ailments. So this is another thing. So normally you are getting 20% less damage from hits. So it's a good one, but it's not that good. And the number 11 one, like when you deal critical hit, you become ignited, and also you take damage 15% of your life and energy shield damage over time. And because of this, like in like in trade, you get in 30% more crit damage. So I 30% more crit damage is huge. I think like the more and the increased multipliers work in different way in Path of Exile. So more is better. More is better than increase. So I think this is a pretty much strong node. But if you look at the blood mage, blood mage has 25% less damage taken. Also, you get like 1% crit damage per 40 life. If you get 4,000 life, your crit multiplier will become 100% more, 100% increase, and this node makes it 30%. So I think for the witch, if you play minions or not, I think the blood mage is way better than the infernalist for new players. But I don't think that the infernalist is bad or weak. It's also very much strong. In some builds I think infernalist will perform way better than the blood mage. But for new players, I think blood mage is the way to go. If you play minions or if you're playing spell builds, like if you're playing witch, that means I think you should go blood mage. After some days, when you understand the games and people find some builds for the infernalist, you may try the infernalist, you may open a new character, but for now I think you may choose to enjoy the game more, to not die to die less, I think you should choose the blood mage. So thank you for watching, and if you wanna learn something more about Path of Exile after the game launches, if you wanna learn something more about the blood mage, I'll upload some like walkthrough videos about my choices I made throughout my gameplay, about the choices I shouldn't have made. So if you're into this kind of videos, I think you may subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching, and stay sane, Exile. Thank you.